MO3’s murder sent shockwaves across the world, and now, 5 years later, newly surfaced footage is reigniting the mystery. But one question still haunts everyone. Why did he even get out of the car? In the viral video, MO3 appears to reach for a weapon, only to find nothing. Could it be that someone close ensured he had no way to defend himself? This chilling footage might be the key to unraveling a deadly setup. The video reveals the alleged hitman in a black Chevy Camaro, making sharp, calculated moves, from sudden bursts of speed to quick stops that hint at a premeditated plan. Though his face remains hidden behind a mask, his actions speak volumes. A firearm is clearly discharged during the incident, believed to be a short-barrel rifle, though exact details remain uncertain. Originally, it was believed that MO3's final hours began with a phone call from a woman. She allegedly lured him with promises of intimacy. Known for his deep attraction to women, especially around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, MO3 took the bait. But this wasn't just any woman. She was reportedly from Oak Cliff, a part of Dallas where MO3 had serious enemies. These weren't petty street beefs. These were deeply rooted rivalries involving powerful and dangerous individuals. The most shocking part? This woman might have ties to one of MO3's deadliest rivals, rumored to be the baby mama of a known gang member. A setup from the inside?
Everybody in Dallas knows this beef was just blown out of proportion. I don't even really know the beef. I think the beef is over him not getting on his phone.
Initially, a woman named Josie Banks found herself at the center of speculation surrounding MO3's murder. Rumors suggested she played a role in setting him up. But after a thorough investigation, authorities found no direct evidence linking her to the crime and officially cleared her of any involvement. The real breakthrough came through a combination of surveillance footage, eyewitness accounts, and digital forensics. Investigators managed to secure key surveillance video from cameras positioned near the scene of the shooting. The footage captured a black Chevy Camaro, trailing MO3's vehicle moments before the fatal incident, believed to be driven by the alleged hitman. Several eyewitnesses on the highway at the time came forward, describing a car matching the Camaro's description, weaving through traffic at high speeds and making aggressive, erratic maneuvers. Their testimonies, paired with digital footprints, helped authorities piece together a timeline. Phone records revealed multiple contacts between MO3 and several individuals on the day of the murder. One of those contacts led to a major break. 22-year-old Dantrell White, known on the streets as Q1. White's records placed him near the scene, and deeper digging exposed his affiliations with Dallas street gangs, groups with known beefs against MO3. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that White's motives weren't random. Evidence suggested a personal and possibly contractual vendetta. Law enforcement later uncovered links between White and a rival gang member known as Yella Beezy. Allegedly, Yella Beezy arranged and funded the hit, using White as the trigger. Dantrell White was arrested weeks later and charged with capital murder. His criminal record, along with the weight of phone logs and witness testimony, painted a chilling picture. MO3's death wasn't spontaneous. It was orchestrated, calculated, and rooted in a deadly feud fueled by gang politics and betrayal. Court documents reveal that Dantrell White was in direct communication with Yella Beezy, often referred to as Yella Bay, in the days leading up to MO3's murder. Speculation has been swirling that White may have turned on Yella Beezy in exchange for a reduced sentence. If true, this move could be devastating for Beezy, who is now reportedly facing the death penalty, not for pulling the trigger, but for allegedly orchestrating the hit. Following Beezy's arrest, reactions flooded socials, media, Fans expressed disbelief and frustration that even after all these years, MO3's trial still hasn't taken place. One comment summed it up. Damn, all these years and still no MO3 trial. A raw reflection of the public's growing impatience with the justice system. Other voices on the internet zoomed out to the bigger picture, warning artists still involved in street activity. A pointed comment read, "Are you learning anything from all the people you see getting locked up on Fed and RICO charges?" A clear message that federal indictments are catching up with many in the industry. And then there's growing suspicion around other names in MO3's orbit, particularly Trap Boy Freddy. Some fans speculate he might be next, with comments like, "Yeah, Trap Boy Freddy probably next," fueling the theory that the walls are closing in on others tied to the case. But not everyone sees MO3 as a pure victim. One commenter wrote, "LOLA, man, everybody been knew he dropped that bag. MO3 got himself caught up jumping into stuff that had nothing to do with him," suggesting that MO3 involved himself in conflicts that ultimately led to his own downfall. Meanwhile, another comment cuts straight to the heart of the allegations. They got Beezy for murder for hire. He didn't pull the trigger, but he ordered the hit and allegedly paid dude $100K. The message is clear. Whether or not Yella Beezy was physically present, fans believe the paper trail proves his involvement. Adding fuel to the fire, investigators noted that shortly after MO3's murder, Beezy withdrew $40,000 in cash from his bank account, a move that instantly raised red flags. Authorities saw this as a potential payment linked to the murder-for-hire plot. With key figures now in custody and more evidence emerging, the full truth behind MO3's tragic end may finally be coming to light. The timing of a significant cash withdrawal made by Yella Beezy raised serious suspicions. Just days after MO3's murder, Beezy withdrew $40,000 from his account, an amount authorities believe was likely intended as payment to Quan White for carrying out the hit. This theory gained more traction when White was later seen flaunting large stacks of cash on social media. His public displays of sudden wealth were seen as more than just arrogance. They were potential evidence of a successful, paid execution. Another name tied to the case is Devin Brown, whose role in the murder plot remains murky. While Brown was also arrested in connection with MO3's killing, investigators have not found direct evidence placing him at the scene. Some reports suggest Brown may have been involved in the logistics, possibly helping to set up the hit, or providing support from behind the scenes. Whether or not he received any payment from Yella Beezy is still under investigation, as law enforcement continues to uncover the full scope of the conspiracy. Meanwhile, Quan White faced federal charges, unrelated to the murder itself. He was sentenced to 105 months in federal prison after pleading guilty to possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. On August 16, 2020, just months before MO3's murder, White was pulled over by police in Lancaster, Texas, for a traffic violation while riding a dirt bike. Instead of stopping, he fled, leading officers on a chase that ended with a crash and a foot pursuit. Once apprehended, police found a 9mm semi-automatic pistol in his pants pocket. While White now sits behind bars on federal charges, he also faces state charges for the murder of 28-year-old rapper Melvin MO3 Noble. As for Yella Beezy, his arrest took 5 long years. The delay wasn't due to a lack of effort. It was the complexity of building. One of the major reasons for the delay in Yella Beezy's arrest was his calculated effort to maintain a neutral public image in the aftermath of MO3's murder. Despite the whispers and rising suspicions, Beezy carefully avoided making any direct statements or moves that would tie him to the crime. His silence and strategic distancing kept him out of the immediate spotlight. making it far more difficult for both investigators and the public to connect the dots. This air of neutrality sowed confusion. With Beezy not openly antagonizing MO3, around the time of the murder, many were left wondering who the real culprit could be. MO3 had multiple enemies across the Dallas rap scene, each with their own motives. The sheer number of potential suspects created a tangled web of rivalries and theories, which only served to muddy the waters. For law enforcement, this uncertainty became a major roadblock. Pinpointing the true mastermind behind the murder took time, patience, and undeniable proof, and until that surfaced, the case remained in limbo.
Yo, when MO3 was alive, you guys didn't get along much, right? Or am I wrong about that? I'm wrong. You guys did get along. You never had a problem.
In the end, Yella Beezy's arrest wasn't the result of a single breakthrough. It was the culmination of years of investigation, connecting dots, and patiently waiting for the right evidence to surface. But to truly understand how things spiraled to this point, we need to rewind the clock. What exactly led Yella Beezy to allegedly order the death of MO3? The answer lies in a slow-burning feud that began with minor tensions and eventually exploded into deadly violence. The origins of the MO3 and Yella Beezy beef. Before the animosity, there was mutual respect. MO3 and Yella Beezy were once seen as allies, two rising stars in the Dallas rap scene, each building their names with raw, street-driven music and loyal fan bases. At one point, Beezy even publicly listed MO3 as one of the top 5 rappers in the city. But as is often the case in the streets and in rap, respect can turn into rivalry overnight. As different crews and alliances began forming around the city, what was once camaraderie soon shifted into distrust. The spark that ignited the fire? A nightclub shooting in Fort Worth MO3 had been scheduled to perform, but tensions flared when local rapper Go Yayo and his entourage reportedly objected to MO3 stepping into their territory. The confrontation quickly escalated. Gunshots rang out, and tragically, an innocent bystander was killed. MO3 was arrested in connection with the shooting and faced charges that could have put him behind bars for over a decade. Though he eventually beat the case, the damage was done. His record deal with Epic Records was dropped, forcing him to go independent and grind from the ground up once again. Then came another turning point. Comedian Roy Lee. Known for his unapologetic humor and ties to MO3, Roy Lee had his own beef with Yella Beezy. According to reports, Beezy's crew had previously jumped Roy Lee at a nightclub, sparking a wave of online taunts and provocations. Rather than staying silent, Roy Lee took the feud to social media, relentlessly calling Beezy out and fueling tensions that were already dangerously high. What began as music and misunderstandings had now turned into real street drama, and the consequences were about to get deadly.